Welcome back to Butterfly Effect Tarot. My name is Lorraine, and today's topic is what will your energy be like on your wedding day? There's going to be three piles. The timestamps for each pile will be in the description box in the comment section below. Of course, if the readings resonate, please feel free to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Of course, after this video, you can return to the channel. There's other topics, videos, and readings as well. And as always, a special thank you and shout out to my subscribers and all of my returning viewers. I appreciate the support. Newer viewers, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, there are other topics, videos, and readings on the channel if you're interested. Also, really quickly, there is an end of the year offer on the personal readings. If you're interested in that, it's 20% off of all readings. The details for that will be in the description box and the comment section below. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into each one of your messages. Welcome to your reading pile one regarding what energy will you be in on your wedding day. So I've already pre-shuffled and pulled 5 cards. We're going to go ahead and identify the cards that came out for you, and then we'll go ahead and get into the reading. So the first card out for you is the Queen of Wands, is followed by the Ace of Swords, and then we have the Nine of Swords followed by the Devil, and then the final card out is the Nine of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck energy is the Hierophant. So there's a couple of different messages coming through. There's about 3 different scenarios I'm getting from these cards specifically, and I'm going to go ahead and get into each scenario just to make sure that we're highlighting every possible message and it's resonating with each person in the way that it's supposed to. But first and foremost, before we get into the different scenarios, the first thing I'm going to highlight is the Queen of Wands coming out first. It doesn't matter if you're male or female, it's just the energy. But on your wedding day, with this energy coming out, you are going to be extremely beautiful, extremely attractive, extremely sexy and seductive. There's going to be a very sensual and alluring energy about you on your wedding day. I feel like this is innately who you are on a regular basis. I just feel like on your wedding day, it's going to be heightened to a whole nother level. So the Queen of Wands is very much bold and risky. So I do feel like there's going to probably be something very risky and bold about your style of dress. So for example, especially for the ladies attracted to this pile, perhaps your dress is going to be like low cut in the front, right? With the cleavage out. Maybe it'll be low cut in the back where your back is out. It may be like you have a leg, the leg and thigh is out. Maybe there's like a little slit in the side of the dress where there's a little hip showing, a little side showing, maybe the stomach, maybe the collarbone and the shoulders. But definitely something that's going to get very sultry and sensual. And even if you're fully covered up, I feel like your gown is going to be very form fitting. I feel like it's going to hug your body in all the right ways. I feel like it's going to hug every crevice of your curves. I feel like it's going to accentuate your body in such a way that it's going to make you look very enticing and tempting. So all eyes are definitely going to be on you. And again, I don't get that it's just because you are, the one getting married, not just because this is your wedding day. Your look is just going to be very jaw-dropping. The Queen of Wands is someone who commands a lot of attention without trying because of how alluring and magnetic she is, because of how attractive she is. The Queen of Wands is the most attractive and sexiest energy in the queen, out of the queens in tarot. So having that energy come out first and foremost is a wonderful thing. You are going to be looking and feeling very confident on your wedding day. Now, let's go ahead and get into the scenarios. So for the first scenario, we do have the Ace of Swords coming out after the Queen of Wands. So the Ace of Swords is like making decisions. It's like having clarity and a clear vision of what you desire. And then you have the Queen of Wands, who is a creative person herself. And this is someone who also has an idea of what they want and they pursue it. So I feel like with that being said, for this first scenario, you guys are going to be in charge of planning your wedding. I don't feel like there's going to be a wedding planner. And if for some reason some of you do have a wedding planner, I feel like this is going to be you calling the shots. It's going to be your vision, and maybe the wedding planner is just going to be someone that assists to help put it together and bring your vision to life. But for the most part, you're going to be in charge of everything, and you're going to be the one that's going to choose and pick and decide on what is what and what is not. However, I do feel like there's going to be some anxiety about that because the Nine of Swords comes out, and that is a card of anxiety. It's a card of stress and worry and insomnia and doubt. And then you have the devil card coming out. That's an energy of feeling restricted, constrained, oppressed, like you can't move or you can't do what you want to do or you can't, create what you want to create. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is an energy of accomplishments and success and, having the fruits of your labor pay off to build and plan and do something, commit to something, and then it becomes successful. Now, I do feel like the reason there's anxiety here is because I feel like there's something unconventional about what your vision is, whether this has to do with your style of dress or whether this is something that has to do with the wedding itself, the reception. There is definitely something here that's very unconventional, and I feel like this is giving you anxiety. But I feel like it's giving you anxiety because it's something that's very important to your future spouse or to your family or to your future spouse's family. With the Hierophant at the bottom, this is the card of societal norms and traditions. It's a card of, religious beliefs. So I do feel like maybe this could be like maybe there's a strong religious background and belief system on your future spouse's side or on your side, and there's something that maybe is traditional to them when it comes to weddings, and perhaps this is not something that you want to align with. Maybe this is not a route you want to go. So for example, it could be something like you don't want your wedding to be in a church or any sort of a religious building. Maybe you don't want a priest or a pastor. It could be something like you want your wedding on the beach, or you want your wedding in a expensive hall, or you have just some sort of vision for what you want your wedding to look like. It could be something as simple as the color themes. Maybe you want red and black, or maybe you want something that is just not acceptable according to society, or it's something that's, off the beat path. And again, the Queen of Wands generally does not care. She does what she wants, especially given that this is your wedding. She does what she wants. So the fact that there is anxiety and concern here means that this is something that is important to someone who is important to you, right? And this could be, again, your future spouse, or it could just be their family or your family. Otherwise, I don't think that you would care as much. So you're having anxiety because you're wanting to find a compromise. Now, this is the wedding day. So decisions have already been made, right, for this wedding. And I feel like this anxiety is basically set in because you're having doubts about the decision that you did make. Now, the Nine of Pentacles comes out at the end, so I do feel like it is something that is going to be a success. The Nine of Pentacles, again, as I stated, is having the fruits of your labor pay off. It's like building something, planning something, working on something, and then it, flourishes and it becomes successful and prosperous. So at the end of the day, I do feel like all is going to work out no matter what route you decide to take, whether you find a balance between what you want and what's conventional and expected, or whether you go fully with what you want, or whether you go fully with traditional. Either way, with this Nine of Pentacles, you're going to be very happy with the outcome. You're going to feel accomplished because this is an independent energy, and this is you feeling, successful and having achieved, something that you're satisfied with and something that everyone else is also at peace with. And with the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck, this signifies that there could be some sort of a wise counsel, or mature individual that you do seek advice from. This could be a priest or a pastor or something like that, or this simply could just be a mature energy in your life that you trust, that knows you very well, and that has provided you wonderful guidance that helped you to make this decision and give you comfort. And that could be why you have this Nine of Pentacles, because you followed your heart or you followed this guidance. The Hierophant could also be you seeking guidance from a higher power, from source, from God, from, the divine. This could be you, following your intuition after praying when you're having those sleepless nights, when you're having anxious thoughts. And then finally, everything just, it turns out well. But that's the first scenario. Okay. Now, the second scenario is this could have to do with money, right? Because the Nine of Swords is anxiety, right? And then, of course, you have the Devil card, which is an energy of excessive, energy. It's like excessive spending in this case because the Nine of Pentacles comes after. I do feel like money is not the issue per se. I feel like there's a need for balance, right? I feel like maybe there's a concern that you're going overboard, that the vision you have for the wedding, maybe you set a certain budget for yourself because you're trying to be conscious about how you spend. For example, you have a lot of money, but maybe you have a lot of money because you're very structured in how you spend it. So maybe there are certain aspects of, the vision you have for your wedding, and you feel like it shouldn't be as expensive as it is. But of course, this is the wedding day. So I do feel again, you're going to see guidance on this as well. If this is the scenario that applies to you on that day, someone's going to give you comfort. Someone's going to, maybe let you know this is your day. This, is a once in a lifetime, experience for you. So, and of course, you can afford it. So allow yourself, the opportunity to splurge, and don't be overly concerned with being too reckless or too over the top with the spending. Trust that this is worth the investment, and maybe that's what gives you peace of mind on that day. And then you move back into this Nine of Pentacles energy of abundance and success and achievement, and again, very happy with what you've done because you got the vision that you wanted to create. And even if you did spend a bit more than you wanted to, or spend more than you feel like you should have spent, it's not going to matter, right? Because you're going to have that solace, you're going to have that comfort, and you're going to love the way that everything turned out. Now, the final scenario, and I'm getting this one very strongly, but take it if it resonates, and if it doesn't, you know what to do. I do feel like for a number of you, you might have unconventional views when it comes to marriage, right? Or at least by the time you're getting married, or this is just how you are now. Maybe some of you have always considered your relationship, your long-term partnership, as something that would just be a spiritual connection and commitment just between you and your future spouse without a, marriage license contract having to be signed. So it's like maybe you've always been open to having a beautiful wedding and having the rings, having these symbols and these ceremonies to represent and highlight and celebrate your connection with each other, but not necessarily needing the formalities of it, the traditional, with the Hierophant card out here, the traditional aspect of having the actual form or actual document included. Because maybe you feel like the love and the connection and the commitment is between the two of you and not between a third party. For some of you, you have always been independent, right? So maybe you have perhaps figured that it could be something as simple as not wanting to take your future spouse's last name, right? It could be a number of things, but it's something unconventional about how you view marriage. And it's something that I feel is giving you anxiety because maybe this is something that maybe your future spouse doesn't have the same vision, or maybe you're wondering if you're making the right decision by going the unconventional route that you desire. So there's again a compromise here about what you feel like you should do. When it comes to this Ace of Swords, this is you making a decision. Now, I feel like this is you especially being concerned about giving up your freedom. I'm getting that very strongly because the Ace of Swords is a card of a decision made, right? The decision to get married, the decision to, accept the proposal. And then it's also a card of freedom. And then you have here the Nine of Swords of this decision giving you anxiety and worries, and you having doubts and sleepless nights. And then you have the devil card. And the devil card, again, is being restricted, being confined, being tied down to something. In the card, you have the male energy and the female energy, and they both have a chain around their neck. And then the chains, there's a chain leading from the chain to a box. It's like they're both bound to each other and bound to this box. So it feels like for the most part, there's a concern about your freedom, right? Being given away. There's a concern about you going from being this independent, free-spirited Queen of Wands energy who has never had to really be tied down to anything or anyone, never feeling like you've had to consider other people as you live your life and make decisions in life, never feeling like you've had to answer to anyone. And now you're going into this connection and this commitment. And this means that now you have someone to consider. Now it's not just you. Now you can't just live, in this free spirited energy the way you used to. And especially with the Nine of Pentacles coming out, that's a card of self-reliance. It's a card signifying that you've worked hard. You've always been able to provide and take care of yourself. You've always been independent. You've never really had to rely on anybody for anything. You've always done pretty well by yourself. And it's like, are you giving that up now? What does this mean? So I think there's a concern with what marriage really means for you. And I feel like that's what could be considered unconventional because in general, especially for the ladies attracted to this, feminine energies are not usually expected to have, this anxiety or these cold feet or desiring their freedom. it's usually the masculine energies that they expect to have the cold feet or to have these concerns. And it's unconventional for you to, but this is what you're having. You're having these doubts, you're having these anxieties. This could also just be you making sure that you're marrying the right person or you're committing to the right person, because you have to consider in the devil card energy, this is an energy of unhealthy attachments. It's an energy of addictions, of infidelity. So I feel like it could be you also making sure and thinking, am I marrying the right person? Is this person going to change up? Is this person going to become the devil? Is this person is being married to this person going to take away my Nine of Pentacles energy of being self-reliant? It's just a concern with your free-spirited nature, that fiery energy of being able to get up and go, not having to answer to anyone, not having to consider anyone, not having to, be tied down in any way. And this is definitely coming up as a concern. So for a lot of you, as I stated a little while ago, you may have always had, unconventional views of marriage. And I feel like the contract is at the forefront here, right? Especially with the Nine of Pentacles. If you have a lot of money, this is signifying, and the Queen of Wands is very successful, usually from creative endeavors and businesses that she's built. And I feel like maybe there's a concern that your money could be on the line. Maybe, you want a prenuptial agreement. There's something very unconventional here, but this does have a lot to do with your freedom, with your success. The Queen of Wands, I'm going to say this very quickly. The Queen of Wands is usually someone who is popular or well known. And then with the Nine of Pentacles, this is you being very successful and prosperous in business. So I feel like for a small portion of you, if not most of you, you will be well known or seen or very popular. Or maybe whatever you do for career is something that, it's accessible by the public. So in some way, you're maybe a public figure, even if it's on a small level. So I feel like maybe your marriage or your wedding or your decision in this unconventional avenue is something that is public or something that other people have access to or they know about. And this anxiety could maybe have a concern about how it's going to affect your image and your career, because the Nine of Pentacles comes out. And mind you, the Queen of Wands generally does not care about opinions of her. She does not care about validation or approval. So I feel like this anxiety is, for the most part, something that is within you. And I feel like it has more to do with you trying to see if you're being rational and if you're getting married because you choose to, because this is what you want, or is this because it's something that's going to satisfy your future spouse or satisfy the public or satisfy your image? Is it something that's expected of you because of your position in society? But there's definitely you being on the fence here. Definitely. And this is your wedding day. So this is you, I do feel it's going to be fine, because in all scenarios, this Hierophant energy is giving me the energy that you're seeking guidance from a higher power or from someone that you trust that is very wise and that it can provide the best guidance for you, or the best, because the Queen of Wands is going to do what she wants anyway. But someone that can give you, advice that you can follow, or the advice that you can consider that is helpful. Because even in this one with the Nine of Pentacles, you still end up prosperous. You still end up happy. You still end up feeling abundant and successful. You feel like the work you've put into the wedding, if there's that scenario, it paid off. If it's, you overspending or being conscious about how you manage the money, if you're being too lavish, it's like you find solace in this and you feel accomplished and abundant and successful. And if this is a situation where it's a concern about your freedom, or a concern about you, having to do the conventional thing of having a contract, or again, just you simply getting married, and maybe that's something that you never thought you'd do or you never really wanted to do. Either way, with this Nine of Pentacles energy, especially if it's you and the freedom dynamic, the Nine of Pentacles is an independent energy. So it's like even after you tie the knot, even after you go through this stress and worry, this anxiety, you still move back into this Nine of Pentacles energy of feeling self-reliant, realizing that you are still the Queen of Wands. You are still in this Nine of Pentacles. Just because you're tied to someone doesn't take your freedom. You're still this free-spirited person at heart. You still march to the beat of your own drum. You still can live your life according to yourself and still find a beautiful balance with that Hierophant card of being traditional and respecting your marriage, respecting your spouse, and living, you know, in a fair, harmonious, balanced, mutual union, but still operating in your own energy of independence and success, making your own money, building your own career. For a very small portion of you, this could mean that there's a concern about your money, right? There could be a concern, like I said earlier, about the prenuptials. There could be a concern that maybe if you have a lot of money, is this person someone that could go after it? Because the devil card is an energy of greed, and then this is you in this abundance that you've built for yourself. And then this is you having anxiety about maybe, someone going after that or someone affecting your money, affecting your success, but again, affecting your independence. So I do feel like that one came through really strongly. It really is going to depend because each of you are going to be different. It's going to be a similar dynamic. No matter which scenario you're in, on the wedding day for everybody attracted to this one, there is going to be some sort of compromise or some sort of concern regarding what you desire for yourself, what you desire for this wedding versus what is expected of you and what someone else is desiring for you, what society is desiring for you, and you wanting to go your route, but also maybe wanting, out of respect, wanting to consider everyone else that is affected by this and everyone else that may have a say in this. And I feel like you are going to find a compromise. I feel like you're going to find guidance. You're going to seek out guidance. You're going to find a compromise and you're going to fall back into that Queen of Wands in the energy of independence, confidence, and in that Nine of Pentacles energy of feeling successful and like everything turned out wonderfully and prosperous for you on your wedding day. Okay. So I am going to leave the reading there. And if it resonated, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can let me know in the comments. And if interested, you can return to the channel for other topics, other videos, and other readings. But other than that, thank you for clicking on this video today. Welcome to your reading pile 2 regarding what will your energy be like on your wedding day. So I've already pre-shuffled and pulled 5 cards. We're going to go ahead and identify the cards that came out, and then we will go ahead and get into the message. So the first card out for you is the Eight of Wands. It's followed by the Four of Pentacles, which is followed by the Nine of Cups. And then we have the Lovers, followed by the Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck energy is the Eight of Cups. So a couple of different messages here, but first and foremost, with the Nine of Cups coming out at the center of your reading, this is the card of happiness. This is the card of fulfillment, of joy. This is the energy of you having found wholeness within yourself and joy and happiness within yourself on your own. You are happy with your career, your finances, with your sense of community around you, such as your close friends and loved ones. There's just a sense of peace and harmony here, a sense of contentment in life. And then you go from the Nine of Cups, being the nine is the self, it's independent energy, into the Lover's card with your partner. So it's like at this point, I get the vibe here that at the time that you have reached personal fulfillment and satisfaction in yourself and in your life, that's when this partner comes in. And the Lover's energy would suggest to me that this is going to be a very passionate, intense, deep, lusty connection. This is going to be a very deeply spiritual connection. You two may mirror each other. It could be, in my mind, the Lover's card kind of gives me higher level soulmate, or a twin flame, if you believe in that, because the energy between the lovers is so passionate and intense. It always gives the implication that both of you may have had to go through a journey or transform to come together, because the lover's energy is a transformative connection. It's a very deeply transformative connection, especially when it comes to your intimate life. This is going to be a connection where you two will more or less likely be all over each other. You're going to love touching each other. You're going to love to be in each other's company. This is going to be more than likely a connection where you two do not like to be apart for very long. Now, with the Eight of Wands coming out with the Four of Pentacles, and then, of course, the Nine of Cups being pleasure and personal satisfaction, and then the Lovers being a passionate, deep sexual connection, I do feel like on your wedding day, you will be in a very much in an energy of wanting to be alone with your future spouse. The Eight of Wands is a passionate energy in and of itself, but it's also fast moving energy, being in a hurry, wanting to get through things quickly or get to something quickly, but it's also a card of pent up tension and passion that you want to get out or you want to take action on. And then the Four of Pentacles comes out after, and the Four of Pentacles is holding on to something very tightly. So I do feel like this is you having all this energy, this passion, this desire for your future spouse, but with the Four of Pentacles having to wait, having to hold on because you have to wait to get through the nuptials. But definitely an energy of wanting to be with them, wanting to be alone with them, wanting to get through the ceremony so that you guys can, be together. especially if, for example, you may have been apart for a couple of days leading up to the wedding, which is very common. This would suggest that, again, with this type of lovers dynamic, these are individuals who don't like to be apart for very long. So if it's 1 or 2 days that you had, spent apart leading up to the wedding, then this would explain why you have so much pent up passion and energy and want to, get to the aftermath of everything. This could also suggest, though, to me that some of you may actually wait to be intimate with your future spouse until after you are married. And so this would especially, reconfirm why there's so much passion and desire in you because you've waited so long to get to this point and you're so anxious and happy and excited to finally have this commitment with them intact and to be able to explore them and have this experience with them because you feel like it's been a long time waiting. But with the Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles specifically, this is Pentacles is value and it's investment. So you will feel like the wait is worth it. For those of you that will wait to be with your partner, you'll feel like it's worth it. I also feel like you will feel like this marriage and this connection overall is worth it. With the Four of Pentacles, this is like signifying holding on to something, but also wanting to grow something. And Pentacles energy is long lasting. It's an energy of investing and building for the long haul. It's also a solid foundation. So I do feel like you will see this union as something that is solid, it is strong, it is something that will grow, something that you can build on, perhaps to the Ten of Pentacles of creating a legacy and an empire together. And then of course, I do feel like with this Knight of Swords energy at the end, this is an energy of you feeling like this is something that will be worth fighting for, a connection that is very strong, very courageous, one that has a lot of endurance and perseverance. I feel like there will be a lot of trust here. I feel like you will trust this connection. You will trust this bond that you have with this individual. Now, I will say this as well. This could be a connection that did move very quickly because you have the Eight of Wands of fast moving, passionate energy, and then you have the Knight of Swords, which is also fast moving energy, a decisive action and energy of taking decisive movements towards something. So I do feel like this is a connection where either you guys came together and the intense, fiery, passionate chemistry between you kind of fueled to the point where you guys moved into a connection quickly, moved to the proposal quickly, and then moved to the wedding quickly, or you two got together and if it may have taken time to get to the proposal, it didn't take much time to get to the wedding or vice versa. But there's definitely a lot of fast moving energy in this pile, and especially with the amount of passion that's seemingly coming through between the two of you, that would make a lot of sense because this feels like something where, like, if this is the type of connection, for example, where you guys like met and it was like perhaps love at first sight, for example, just an example, then this is the type of situation where the person approached you very quickly, right? Like the passion they had for you, there was no standstill, there was no thought, especially with the Knight of Swords. This person approached you very quickly, or vice versa, you approached them very quickly, and it's something that kind of grew legs and took off pretty fast. Now, for a small portion of you, I'm going to be honest, this could be a past person for some of you because the Eight of Cups is at the bottom of the deck, and that does signify past energy, something that you left behind. And as I stated, with the Knight of Swords energy coming out at the end of the read, and then the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck, that could signify something you left behind that came back in very quickly, very certain, very assuredly, something that was very a love that persevered, right? Even when you were apart, especially with the Eight of Wands being an energy of fast communication, passionate communication coming in quickly. And then you have the Four of Pentacles of waiting and holding on to something that you deem valuable. I feel like for some of you, if this is a past person, that this is someone that maybe you guys met and you were together at one point, but you guys were the right person for each other, but maybe at the wrong time, and perhaps you two may have separated and worked on yourselves, which the Nine of Cups signifies, and kind of had to grow in yourselves, transform yourselves, and then the passion between you over that course of time may have grew even more fiery, even more intense, which is why the Lovers is coming out. And then this person came in very sure of themselves, very passionate and very intense. And then that could be why maybe you got to the marriage portion, to the wedding portion very quickly, because this is something that could have come back in. And again, as I said, if this is a new person, then this person did approach you, or vice versa, you approached them very swiftly. There was not a lot of thought. It was like you were drawn to each other because with lovers, this is very magnetic, it's very alluring. It's an energy of, temptation and being enticed. This is an energy that is irresistible. So I do feel like you see each other as irresistible. I feel like the energy around the two of you is very potent, and I feel like people would be able to see how attracted you are to one another and how much passion is, exchanged between the two of you. Now with the Eight of Wands and the Knight of Swords also being fast moving energy, I do feel like for some of you, you could have a wedding where you have to travel, right? Like maybe if you want the wedding to be somewhere else, then you may have to travel to another location. And the Eight of Wands could be the fast moving energy. And then the Four of Pentacles is you having to wait for the actual nuptials because you're having to try, wait to travel to get to your destination. Now, with the Eight of Cups at the bottom, that energy of leaving the past behind could also signify and suggest that for a lot of you, you will be reflecting on all the past disappointments you had in love, a lot of the situations that you did have to leave behind and move away from. And at the time, it may have felt like a loss to you. But with the Eight of Cups being at the bottom of leaving the past behind, and the Nine of Cups being at the center of having ultimate wish fulfillment, it's like you go from the eight to the nine and you're reflecting on how it was worth the wait. With this Four of Pentacles, it's like it was worth the wait. Waiting for the right person, leaving those connections behind and not allowing yourself to stay stuck in those connections. It really helped you to evolve in this Nine of Cups, find self-love, find joy within yourself, and manifest in this beautiful, passionate connection. Now, would we also, there was something else I wanted to go into. Oh, yes. Also, with the fast moving energy, which we're going to go into again, for some of you, you may elope. Okay. With this energy, it's an energy of excitement and thrill and wanting to get through with the commitment so you can start your life together. So, some of you may elope. For those of you where you're not eloping, this could suggest that there is a small ceremony. Not a lot of people, just close loved ones. A very demure wedding, very classy and nice, but just very small and intimate, especially with the Four of Pentacles coming out. This is an energy of managing your resources well and not overspending. So I do feel like for a lot of you, you and your future spouse may feel like you don't need the bells and whistles for the wedding. It's really just you and them. I feel like you and your future spouse may view your relationship, may view the overall situation as what's more, you two are more important. The connection is more important. You two being able to get married and start this beautiful journey together is way more important than the wedding. Not to say you want to enjoy it, right? With the Nine of Cups, you're going to be happy on this day. You're going to be very happy, meaning you're going to be happy with the wedding. You're going to be happy with the situation, circumstances, whichever route you take. But I do feel like in this specific reading, the relationship is what's being more highlighted. The energy and the passion that is present is what's being more highlighted than the actual feelings regarding the nuptials. So I do feel like you're going to see it as something where, yeah, a wedding is great, but it's really just us. It's really about us. It's really about the union. It's really about the connection. And more importantly, it's really about us getting alone because over above everything else, I feel like you're going to be very hot and bothered. You're going to be very tempted. You're going to feel very enticed, and you're going to have a lot of deep, passionate desire to get on with this ceremony and get your future spouse alone. So very much of it. I love the energy out here. I really do. I really love this energy. It's so calm and subtle, but the connection gives very passionate and deep. I feel like you're going to see your future spouse as your best friend and your lover. Yeah, there's going to be a beautiful energy of, I feel like, again, this lovers, I feel like the energy between you will be transformative. I feel like this is going to be a connection that will help transform the both of you. I do feel like you've done a lot of transformation on your own with this Nine of Cups, but I feel like this lover's energy is going to, like, in a way, bring out another side of you. And also, again, with this mirror energy, I feel like it'll bring out another side of your future spouse. I feel like this is going to be a very healing connection, very healing. But yeah, very much a beautiful energy. But I am going to leave the reading there. And if it resonated, please feel free to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you will. And if interested, you can return to the channel for other topics, other videos, and other readings. Thank you. Welcome to your reading pile 3 regarding what will your energy be like on your wedding day. So I've already pre-shuffled and pulled out 5 cards. We're going to identify the 5 cards that came out, and then we will go ahead and get into the message. So the first card out for you is the Ten of Swords, followed by the Sun, and then we have the Chariot card, followed by the Three of Wands, and the final card out is the King of Cups. Bottom of the deck energy, the Five of Wands. So a few different messages here. First and foremost, though, with the Sun coming out, you're going to be happy. You're going to be in an energy of being very happy, very optimistic. You're going to be very attractive. With the Sun card, you're going to stand out at your wedding. Very attractive, very beautiful, very glowy, with the energy of the Sun being masculine and fiery, like with wands, you're going to be more or less like looking very seductive, very seductive. Now, the Sun card does come out after the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords is about endings. It's about the ending of relationships, connections. It's about heartache, betrayal, sadness, just a time of just fatal disasters. And I feel like you will be reflecting on all of the past connections that have ended, all of the connections that left you disappointed, heartbroken, betrayed, deceived, and you're gonna feel like all of that you had to go through was worth this Sun energy. Because the Sun energy and the Ten of Swords are polar opposites, and the Sun is coming out after this 10. So it's like at a time maybe you're reflecting on in the past how you felt like a lot of these situations were lost and they hurt you so deeply, and maybe at some point you felt like you'd never overcome these, or you would never have this day in the Sun, literally with the Sun coming out. You never have this day in the Sun with your future spouse, and I feel like you're going to be reflecting on how you have actually gotten it, how you have actually gotten through those situations, and this day actually came, and you're going to be happy and excited and joyous and glowy and just in the most positive, optimistic, beautiful energy. And then you have the Chariot coming out. That's a card of control, you being in control, you being in charge. It's a card of victory and success. It's a card of a journey to victory and success. So you're going to be feeling like it took you a journey to get here, but you were very determined, and how you stayed determined no matter how hard it was. Because the Three of Wands is an energy of hard work, also on a journey that you're starting. So you're going to see that it was a lot of hard work that you had to go through, but it was worth it. Now with the Chariot and the Three of Wands coming out, I do feel like this also signifies you will be the one in control of the wedding, of the details, the decorations, the reception. You're going to be the one with the final say. You're going to be the one, and I do feel like it is going to be hard work. You're going to feel like it's hard work. Maybe you'll experience a little bit of feeling overwhelmed at times, because it is so much planning and so much that's coming out of it. But you're going to be happy, right? Because the Sun does come out with the Chariot. So you will still be happy and excited, but you still will feel maybe a little bit overwhelmed with how much you have to do, but definitely feeling like it's worth it. And then with the King of Cups coming out, this energy, for the ladies, this will represent maybe your future spouse, and for the men that are drawn to this would represent your energy. I feel like the King of Cups coming out after the Three of Wands signifies that your future spouse is going to be someone who is going to be there to help carry the load, right? Because the King of Cups energy is someone who's comforting, they're patient, they're understanding, they're reliable, they're loyal, they're faithful, and they're helpful. So I do feel like they're going to be there as like a support to help with the planning, but it's really going to be your vision. And because the Sun card is about clear vision, and so is the Chariot card. So it's going to be your vision of what you want. They're going to be happy to appease because they just want you to be happy. They're going to be very patient and understanding, and they're going to help along the way. Now, when we have the Five of Wands at the bottom of the deck, I have to be honest. Because when I was shuffling, it was a little bit of a chaotic shuffle. I'm not gonna lie. And the Seven of Swords did want to make itself known. So did the Tower card, and so did the Five of Swords. And ultimately, the Five of Wands ended up at the bottom of the deck. This will definitely this does confirm to me that for your on your wedding day there is going to be a little bit of tension. There's going to be some sort of a disagreement, some sort of a disturbance. With it being wands, this is going to be something very hostile, very intense. It could be like a physical fight or altercation, or just very vile, intense, harsh words being exchanged. I did get the vibe that this could be like between family and friends. This is just someone there is going, especially with the Seven of Swords trying to show itself during the shuffle. This is someone who has ill intentions. This is someone who, is a thief, like trying to steal the joy from the wedding, or somebody who has hidden agenda, somebody who is just, deceptive. And I just really feel like whoever this energy is, this is someone that I feel like the King of Cups in this dynamic is going to take control of. Whether you are the King of Cups, that is drawn to this, or whether this is your future spouse, the masculine energy in this is going to take control of this. Because when the King of Cups comes out at the end and then the Five of Wands at the bottom, this is usually a situation that is hostile and volatile. But the King of Cups comes in and has to handle it with emotional intelligence and patience and understanding and be the peacemaker, because the King of Cups is the peacemaker. They represent harmony and balance and comfort, a safe space, a safe haven. So I feel like the masculine energy in this is going to take charge of whatever this is, and they're going to balance this out, and they're going to handle this with as much peace and harmony and patience as they can. They're going to try to, silence this and calm it. I do feel like if you do get wind of this, it could, upset you a little, right? Which is obvious, but I don't think it's going to completely ruin your day, right? I don't get that from these cards that ultimately ended up coming out. I don't get that. Now, for everybody, it could be different. But with all the positive energy out here, I feel like you are very much someone in control, very much someone who is strong with this chariot energy, this Three of Wands, very much someone who is no nonsense as well. But I do feel like your future spouse or you, if you're the masculine energy drawn to this, is going to handle this. They're going to want to keep the peace because they're not going to want this day to be ruined for you or them, but especially for you, especially signifying how much work that you had to put into, bringing your vision of your wedding to life. It's going to be very important to them that you're not disrupted, that you're not disturbed, and that you're not the joy that you're feeling in this sun energy is not, bringing disappointment. Now, with the Ten of Swords being the first card out and the Five of Wands at the bottom, for a few of you, this could mean that there was somebody from the past. This could be like a painful ending with a relative or a friend or a lover or something from the past. Maybe this person will show up or be in attendance, and maybe they will try to create this disruption out of jealousy and envy and anger, because Five of Wands can definitely represent that competitiveness, somebody competing, somebody that's jealous. But again, the masculine energy is going to move in, and they're going to handle this with grace, because the King of Wands is a graceful energy. They're going to handle this with grace and with poise. They're going to handle it in a very mature way. But the whole point of this, their energy, is to keep the peace. Because if the King of Wands had came out as opposed to the King of Cups energy that represents the masculine, then I could have said that this energy could have, gotten a little hostile, because the King of Wands would have handled something like this a whole lot different. Now, with the King of Cups being at the end and the Five of Wands at the bottom, this could mean that whatever this tension or disturbance is has to do with your future spouse or with the masculine energy here. Like this, in other words, this could be directed towards them, and they're having to keep the peace and be calm and humble because of the wedding. Or this could mean that the Five of Wands is on their side. Like this is their relatives or their friends or somebody that's in attendance on their side of the wedding that are creating this disruptance. That Seven of Swords that kept showing itself, this could be somebody that snuck their way in. Well, obviously, yeah, because that's a sneaky energy. So this could be someone that snuck their way in literally, that may not have been invited, and maybe the disruption is because they weren't invited because of the energy they operate in. Or maybe this could just be one of, the relatives or friends that are known for being chaotic and causing problems and promise not to, but then they show up and cause problems anyway. Either way, whatever this Five of Wands energy is, the masculine is going to deal with it. They're going to deal with it, and they're going to be prompt in dealing with it. With the King of Cups energy, this is someone that's very protective. So this person is going to be very protective over you, and they're going to be very protective over this day and this experience for the both of you. But all in all, you're going to be happy. Despite this disruption, there's so much beautiful energy coming from this. I do feel like, again, there's going to be a little tension, going to be a little bit of a ruckus. But all in all, I feel like it's going to end in a beautiful way. I feel like you're going to be happy with the vision you created for your wedding. I feel like you're going to be feeling very beautiful with this sun energy. You're going to feel, like the star of the show. And I feel like you are going to be the star of the show, because the sun energy is the brightest light in the world. So yeah, all eyes are going to be on you. I feel like you're going to light up the room when you walk in. You're just going to be so radiant, and you're going to feel so confident, so beautiful, and you're going to be so happy. And I do feel, again, like you're going to reflect on all that you had to come through to get to this point. And for a lot of you, I feel like you may have gotten to a point with this Ten of Swords where you gave up on love at one point, or you felt like it would never happen for you. And then standing there on your wedding day in your dress and getting prepared to go out to marry your future spouse is going to feel maybe surreal to you. But you're going to be happy that with this Chariot card, you didn't give up. You continued on your journey. You continued to, move through life. And it's like you've gotten the dream that you've always wanted. Despite this little disturbance, I don't feel like it's going to kill the entire vibe of the wedding. Okay. This could also be someone objecting to the wedding, right? This could be someone objecting on your future spouse's side, or this could just be tension between your relatives. I can't pinpoint exactly what this Five of Wands energy is, but I do have to mention it because it showed up at the bottom of the deck, and then all the other cards that showed themselves while shuffling and the chaotic energy while shuffling does let me know that there's a little turbulence there. And this is not even though I'm not going to spend too much time on it, it's not the message that I wanted to have to give in this reading, but I also am not going to mislead you or leave it out. If it came through for a reason. But all in all, it's beautiful energy out here. I do feel like also for your wedding, maybe there will be some travel, because of the Chariot is an energy of movement and travel, and so is the Three of Wands, and it's overseas. So maybe some of you, your future spouse will be from overseas or a foreigner, or maybe you will travel to their homeland for the wedding, or to your homeland for the wedding. Or you could just travel somewhere the wedding is gonna be somewhere that's warm and tropical because of the Wands energy being fire. But I do feel like maybe for some of you, you will travel. Maybe your wedding is going to be somewhere that's at a um a specific location that's farther away from where you live and reside. And I do feel like, again, I feel like it's going to be a beautiful day. I feel like you're going to be beautiful. Your future spouse is going to be beautiful. He's going to be very patient, very understanding, and very comforting. So even whatever this disruption is, this King of Cups energy is going to show up to comfort you. This masculine energy in this relationship is going to be a very strong sense of support and a safety, like a safety net and someone creating a safe space. This person is going to be in a very loving energy, very loving. Their masculine and feminine energy, and the masculine energy is going to be very balanced. And this person is going to be feeling very warm and just loving towards you. And with this one, this is the first one where the where the masculine energy showed himself. So yeah, I feel like this person's gonna love you deeply. Your happiness is going to be very, very important to this person, especially on your wedding day. Because again, I feel like you went through a lot to make this work, especially for those of you where the wedding is going to be somewhere like overseas or in another location where you have to travel. I feel like you having to put all of this together is going to take a lot from you. It's going to take a lot for you to do, but you're going to make it work, which is why you're in the sun energy, which is why you're so happy and you feel so accomplished because it came off successfully. So yeah, you're going to be happy with the wedding. You're going to be happy with how the wedding turns out. You're going to be happy with how you look. You're going to be happy with your spouse. Your spouse is going to be in a warm, loving energy, a very compassionate energy. I love that the King of Cups came out for the masculine energy here, especially when you have this Five of Wands showing up. The King of Cups is the best energy to come out in this type of situation because this is someone that's fair and that's harmonious, very stable, very strong, but very, very practical and patient. This person is going to make sure that you stay happy. They are. Even if you are disturbed by this person is going to make sure that you're happy. They're going to make sure that the work you've put into this wedding, the work you've put into yourself, the way that you have waited all this time to get this, because I feel like your future spouse is going to know about this Ten of Swords energy from your past. And they're going to know the journey you've had and how determined and strong you've had to be through it all. And they're going to feel like you deserve this day and you deserve to stay in this sun energy, not just for the wedding, but even throughout the whole marriage and through life. But with you coming out with the sun energy, yeah, you're going to be very happy, very, very, very feeling abundant and full of life and joy. And just, I imagine the smile on your face is going to be one that can light up the world. Yeah, this is very beautiful. I love it. But I am going to leave the reading there. If it resonated, please feel free to like and subscribe. You can let me know in the comments if you'd like. And if interested, you can return to the channel for other topics, other videos, and other readings. But other than that, thank you for clicking on this video today.